Okay, so I began my journey into understanding how to use social media for professional development by looking up some information on Twitter. So I did a search for Twitter for teachers, and I came across two. This first one was Twitter for Teachers, Kathy Chirac's Guide to Everything. And I look through here to find just some basic information on Twitter and even some more advanced information on Twitter. But then I moved on to Scholastic's website here, who also has a Twitter page for teachers. And I went through kind of like their little questionnaire to find out what some more expert teachers said to do with your Twitter account. So in doing that, I learned that I really should take the time to set up my bio page, which I did do. This is my Twitter, and I did set up my bio. I didn't make it very long just yet. I wanted to see what type of things other people put in it, but said that I was a teacher and a mother. And then my background is my interactive classroom. Not very interactive here, the static version of my interactive classroom. So I did step one. And then they said, when it's time to start tweeting, what's your best advice? And basically, they said just start in your comfort zone. I figured, it can't be that much different from Facebook. I was wrong about that, but that was my initial thought. But then the instructor asked this question, like, how do you start to form a PLN? And I honestly did not know that a PLN was a professional learning network. So after looking that up and finding that out, there is some information on here. But basically, you want to reply to other teachers or to things that you're interested in. So then I was like, well, how do I reply to people if I don't know that they're on Twitter? Like, how do I get that information? So down here at the bottom, they had these hashtags. And so I learned that if you type in these specific hashtags, that you'll see all of the posts, the Twitter posts that deal with those hashtags. Now we have hashtags in Facebook too, and they kind of work similarly, but it was kind of like an afterthought, where I think with Twitter, this is like one of the main ways of getting information on Twitter. So I tried out some of these hashtags just to get an idea, like this one here, read aloud. I learned that I could just go here to Twitter and put it in the search. And then, of course, I would get all of the posts that use that hashtag, read aloud. But it's kind of cool because then you find some posts that you may want to respond to. So that's one way that you can find posts that you would want to respond to. Another way, of course, is following folk. And of course, that's different from Facebook too, because on Facebook, you friend people. And so basically on Twitter, you follow them. And they gave some suggestions of different companies and organizations teachers could follow, and even some educators who are prolific on Twitter that would be good to follow. And I did not recognize any of the teacher names, but there were some of the companies like NCTE, because I am a part of that organization. So I did recognize that. At Utopia, which is, you see that everywhere. So I recognize that. And so that's another way to get information on Twitter. Now, I could utilize this. I think that if I took a little bit more time, I spend a lot of time on Facebook, and I am part of some teacher groups on Facebook, and they are excellent for gathering information and for learning new things. I'm part of a Bitmoji group. I'm part of a group for my particular district. But I am learning that with Twitter, I can get I can reach outside of my normal community and learn some new things from outside of my immediate area. We tend to be quite local on Facebook. So that's one way that I'm going to reach beyond my geographical area. And I think that some of the tools that I may use most often are going to be I'm gonna do Twitter, but it's also I'm very much into YouTube, and so there are, of course, that is my way of finding. If I have a burning question about something, I will search YouTube to see if there is a video out there based on what it is that I am trying to learn how to do. Like currently, I am delving more into Nearpod, and I wanted to get some information about their feedback. Well, not the feedback, but there's session reviews, like you can print out, just what your students did during a particular session. However, I was trying to understand more about how that worked, and there were some videos out there. But there are some things that I want to do, or that I'm very interested in learning about, and there may not be any videos for that. So then I will tend to look for articles. I'll Google articles and things like that online, and sometimes I will query, so I may use Twitter and some hashtags to query about information that I need more information about. So a goal that I have for myself right now is to kind of master the things that I'm already working on, because I have my hands in so many different pots and doing so many different things. And there are some tools that I'm already currently using that I could learn to use a lot better and more in depth. So I don't really want to venture out to do anything brand new yet. For instance, I created a whole interactive Bitmoji classroom that I never took the next step to learn to publish it so that students can use it. I've seen, the Bitmoji libraries. Like I'm kind of into that vein right now. I want to build a Bitmoji library and things of that nature. So I want to kind of, finish exploring the things that I'm already into before I move into something new. Also, I think that I have enough information about a lot of things that I do that I could also create my own content. So I am looking to create my own content in order to spread some of the knowledge that I have about EdTech. But I am working on just the best way to do that.